Welcome to the Wild Nova podcast. I'm your host, Janine O'Brien. Join me as we explore holistic health for your body, mind, and spirit through inspiring interviews with experts and seekers. It's all about a balanced and fulfilling life. So let's dive in. All right. Welcome back to the Wild Nova podcast. So originally I was just going to do one episode a month as a solo episode, but due to honestly not lack of motivation for the podcast, because I'm absolutely loving everything about it, but it was more for me personally honoring how I was feeling. I was kind of overwhelmed with a lot of stuff this last couple weeks. And basically, one of my largest traumas happened for me a few years back this time of year. So every time this time of year kicks in, it's really hard for me. My body, my mind, everything about me needs to rest and kind of just take care of myself and my nervous system. I do like that it is getting easier over the years for me. I also love thinking that in this path, because it's been just over about 7 years since that happened, they say that every cell of your body has completely changed and regenerated in 7 years. So I like thinking that the new version of myself that is here has not gone through that traumatic event anymore. So every year that comes, I'm able to release more and more of that trauma and that PTSD out of my cells and out of my body. So with that, I find it super, 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 super important for me in those times where I still, as someone who does these practices daily, I still have times of feeling low and overwhelmed and not always, I guess, perfect. Like no one's ever perfect, but the times where I really need to take care of myself, one of the most important things to do is to take care of my energy. So I figured it would be a really good episode this week because I don't have a guest recorded at this time, other than, I think, there's Lily sitting in the background. If you're on video, she's my guest this week. That's one of my dogs. If you're on audio, well, you don't get to see my cute, adorable little fluffy puppy. But anyway, so I figured it would be a good episode to kind of go through different techniques and things on how to cleanse your energy and kind of work with your energy when it comes to all of these different things. There's so many different ways that really help me out. Then at the very end of the episode, I am going to have a guided meditation for everybody that's going to help cleanse and clear your energy, your aura, build that energy back up, and kind of put like a protection around you. This episode, well, not this episode, but this recording for the meditation will also be available on my website for kind of an email that I send to you as well, if you want to listen to it just separately later. All you'll do is go to my website, go to the podcast tab, and then there will be something for you to click on. Obviously, I haven't done the recording yet, so I don't have everything set up, but there will be something for you to click on, and I can email you a quick video of the recording so that you're able to just listen whenever you want. And that's just available to you forever. which will be great. Yeah, this is my happy place. Getting to be here and share things that help people is why I'm doing this. And yeah, I had some recordings and stuff. One of them that was supposed to be released next week. We did the whole recording and all of the audio got deleted. It like never recorded for some weird reason. Doing a new program, doing a new all this and the new microphones or not new microphones, but all of this stuff. Yeah, I went to click on the video because I was all excited about it, and there was video but no audio at all. So that sucked. So now we have to figure out how to re-record that one. But yeah, so let's jump in for today. Let's see here, grab my notes. Okay, so step 1 of working with your energy and clearing your energy, and like it's super important to understand like your aura and all of that. But what I would say is number 1 is setting boundaries with people. You need to clearly understand why you're putting these boundaries in for yourself and how important it is to you, and then clearly communicate those boundaries with people. Because if you set a boundary in your head, like I'm no longer going to allow this person to do this, and you don't communicate that with them, it can cause some unneeded turmoil. Just clearly communicate your boundaries. This includes establishing limits on your time, your personal space, and your emotional energy. Learn to say no when it's necessary and prioritize your own well-being. This is something that even I still struggle with daily. I love, 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 love to be able to help people, to be there for them. The problem with that is previously in the past, I have put aside my own energetic needs to help other people, because it did make me feel good helping people. But at the same time, I would then completely wear myself out. So even recently, I felt really bad because I had a friend asking me for a favor, and I physically could handle that favor, but emotionally and mentally, I couldn't. I had been so maxed out. I just started feeling like myself again energetically. And I knew that if I helped them, it would have set me back a few days. And it was really hard for me to prioritize myself in a situation where I really wanted to drop everything and help this person. It's a really hard boundary to keep with people, especially as caregivers, as people that want to help, whether you're a healing practitioner, whether you're a mom, whether you're just a human being. It's hard when we don't see it as like a monetary thing. When somebody's like, oh, could I have your couch for free? You're like, no. But when it's your energy, I find we give more than we should or more than we have, and then we're drained and we have nothing left for ourselves or for our family sometimes, especially when it comes to work. We give and give and give, and then nothing's left. And you spend your entire weekend sometimes just trying to recoup and re-energize yourself, all for what? To go back to work and feel drained and maxed out? Learn when to say no. Learn how to check in with yourself and see where's my capacity really at? Not my need to help people or any of that. Where's my capacity? This is so important for people. And some of the other tools we're going to go over are going to help make it so that capacity can be a little bit higher for you. And yeah, you're not just running on empty or fumes for super long periods of time. So the number 2 thing that I would say right now is energy clearing practices for spaces. So you can do so many different spaces. You can do a space that you're in right now. You can do your living space. You can do your whole home. You can even do your workspaces. And one of my favorite spaces to always do was my vehicle, because I was commuting to and from work like an hour every day. That was really important to me, was to, when I left work, get into my vehicle and not hold all that negative energy into my vehicle, to really let it go. So clearing the energy in your workspaces and living spaces and vehicle regularly can be super, super helpful. It can be done through practices such as smoke cleansing, using essential oils, or simply opening your windows up in the summer, or sometimes actually in the winter. What I'll do for my car is I'll crank the heat in the winter so it feels like summer for a second, turn on the heated seats, and like roll all of the windows down, and just imagine all of that negative energy that's built up in the space just blowing out the vehicle as I'm driving, and just releasing. So basically creating a clean, clear, energetic, balanced environment contributes to your overall well-being. So for smoke cleansing, there are multiple things you can use. You can use little smoke bundles and stuff. This one's a combination of sage and a couple other things. I also will use Palo Santo a lot. You want to make sure you're getting sustainably sourced products. With white sage, I don't tend to use white sage very much because of some of the practices behind it and all of that. I will most of the time use sage that I grow myself, and I tend to. That's not available to everybody. But there are also many, many, many other things you can smoke cleanse with. One of them is Palo Santo. The thing with Palo Santo is that it became super, super popular as soon as people stopped using so much white sage. The problem with that is it wasn't always harvested in the most sustainable ways. We have a habit in society to be like, hey, I can make money off of this, and go like decimate forests for it. So there is a lot of sustainably sourced Palo Santo, and a lot of companies, what they do now is, it's kind of like with sustainable forestry, they will, for every tree they take, they plant another one. It's really important to kind of, like with a lot of the stuff in this industry, is to figure out kind of where it's from, how it's sourced. There's also, like here in BC, I don't know about everywhere, but here in BC, lavender is insanely popular. I love using it for smoke cleansing. I use it specifically for when I'm trying to calm a space. And I will throw it on a little charcoal disc, which is nice. You just kind of light it up, let it smolder. You can throw loose incense onto it. I have one here that is like cornflower and stuff like that. It's beautiful. It smells really good too. With the lavender, I would suggest not just randomly going on the side of the road and picking lavender, or getting it from just random parking lots. Here in Kelowna, they literally have lavender in every parking lot in the summer because it grows in these big, beautiful bushes. Like it loves our heat and our sunshine. The problem is the pesticides. If you are going to be burning the lavender to cleanse a space, you're going to end up probably breathing some of it in. That's okay if it's organic. We do not want to be breathing in lavender coated in mass amounts of pesticides. So, another one that's great, but just please, please watch. So, other things you can do is there's things of like Florida water is really good for cleansing spaces. A lot of people will make it themselves. They will also, you can buy it online from people. It's awesome. I usually get mine off Etsy, to be honest, from some really good reputable places. So this is kind of nice because you can either spray it around the room. Like if I'm feeling, oh gosh, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and stuff, if I'm at work sometimes before and I was feeling my aura was just being beaten up from the people around me, I would just spritz myself with either an aura spray or a Florida water spray. And it would just ground me and cleanse me like instantly. It was great. Especially because you can't in all offices smoke cleanse. No matter how many times I wanted to, I was never able to just like bring Palo Santo into my old job and, just burn it up. People would look at me like I was crazy. So yeah, Florida water was great for that. It does have a heavy scent, so some places you can't have scents, and I have other options for that. But what's really cool is you can put some of the Florida water in an actual floor wash. So what you can do is smoke cleanse your house, open up all the windows, kind of go through all the rooms, push all the negative energies out. And then once you've done that, you can put Florida water in a mop bucket with some hot water and wash your floors with it. And it creates this like amazing protective energetic barrier around your house. It's amazing when you get all of it. It's perfect for like spring cleaning if you wash some of your walls or your windows, anything like that. It's great. Also, another thing, because sometimes you have pets. Like I have the dogs, they're small. The thing with Florida water is like this one that I have has cinnamon in it. Cinnamon is not safe for dogs and cats. So I don't put Florida water on my floors ever. Um, yeah, absolutely ever. It's really bad for them. It's toxic. So say you have cats and you're renting and you can't smoke cleanse and use Florida water and you're like, oh my God, it's hopeless. I'm stuck with all this negative energy. Two things that help is literally salt. You can literally salt places. There's a really cool, I can't remember what the recipe exactly is, but it's like a dish, a flame-proof dish with salt and then also rubbing alcohol. And you light the rubbing alcohol and it like just goes up in flame. It burns out and basically the salt ends up with like this brownish blackishness on top. And you keep doing that until the blackish brown is like gone and it pretty much burns clean. That will kind of do like a big cleanse bomb of the space. And another one of my favorites is sound. So I have a little bell here. So sometimes I will run through the house ringing my little bell, trying to kind of break up that stagnant energy. Sometimes you'll ring it in a space and it almost sounds kind of dull in that spot, and just ring it until it sounds clear. It's really hard to explain until you actually experience it. It does change. It's really interesting. You can blast some music even. Put on your favorite Spotify playlist or yell, scream, sing at the top of your lungs. It's great. Just get that sound out. It moves energy. Also, I will use crystals. I love my crystals. So I have little chips of tourmaline, and then I also have little shards of selenite. So you can grid a space, putting tourmaline in the corners of like an office space, and then throwing super like selenite on the wall between the tourmaline points, kind of energetically connects all the tourmaline, and you basically, yeah, so put it in each corner, put the selenite between along the wall, then imagine a beam of light coming from you and connecting to the first piece in the corner, and then draw a line to connect the energy to the next piece and keep going around. And then once you've come back and connected, imagine all of it as like a beam of light surrounding the room, like either a bubble or a square. It can go under the room as well as over. It can be any shape you want. And just have that energetic bubble. And you set that up. And what's nice about that one is that you can recharge it when you feel you need to, but it's then a space that you can go in that is automatically a protection space for you from other people's energy. So you don't have to mentally think about always creating a bubble around yourself. Yeah, it's a really good way to do it. Let's see here. So number 3 is, the energy shield visualization. I just explained how to do it for the room, but imagine creating that energy shield or bubble around yourself. Visualize this shield as being a protective barrier that shields out any negative energies, while positive energies can flow through, regularly reinforcing this visualization or it adds protection. So that's a key point that I did forget to mention on the one, is that sometimes when we're smoke clearing and using oils and crystals and all of this, we set a barrier of protection for things that's like everything. I want all energies out of my house. I want a protection barrier against all energies. Try to change this thought in your head a little bit. I know that sometimes people will be like, okay, create all of your, like in a lot of communities, it's called your wards. So it's like a protection barrier for your house. The thing with this is some energies I want welcomed into my space. Not all energies are bad. So creating that barrier, and when you're doing it, having the intention of keeping kind of things that are more negative and not for your highest good outside of the space, while still allowing those positive, kind things in, is kind of important. And try not to forget that sometimes even things that look scary or feel scary sometimes aren't. And if you are feeling scared in the moment, you can always create that barrier around yourself. I've had times in the past where I felt really negative energies around me while I was asleep. And so I always had stuff around me when I slept and at night and stuff like that when I was younger too. So I learned how to create that golden bubble around myself, and I would expand it out from my heart to my chest and my body, and then my bed and my room and my whole house. And so I'd create this bubble over and over. So I'm really good at it now. The problem was that I wasn't allowing the positive energies in. I was thinking that I didn't want to be a part of any of the energies for a really long time growing up. I didn't understand that not everything is out to get you. Some things are just curious to say hi, as well as like, I believe in an afterlife. I believe in all of that. So I believe that my grandparents that have passed, and my uncles and stuff like that, like I like having them come to visit me. I like feeling like when I'm baking my grandma's cookies or my grandpa's cookies, that he's with me. And I like feeling his energy. Or when I'm, just having a hard time sometimes, calling in some of my family members from the other side to just come give me a hug. Sometimes I just need a hug. And just feeling that warmth and that embrace. So just remembering we don't want to block all energy out. We really just want to block out or work on protecting some of that like negative energies. So I kind of briefly talked about the crystals and stones that I use. So using crystals and stones, that there's a bunch that are known for protection and all of that. So the examples are like the black tourmaline. Like I said, I do have smaller chunks of black tourmaline, as well as obsidian are believed to absorb and transmute negative energies, and you can literally just carry them with you in your pockets. So it's another thing, again, you can do if you're going to the grocery store or going shopping, going to work. I always would have like crystals in my bra. It was quite funny sometimes, and in my pockets. Please remember there are crystals that are toxic and do start to dissolve with moisture. Not all crystals are meant to be put in your bra. Please do not put Bumblebee Jasper in your bra. It is highly toxic. Even using it with your hands, if your hands are a little bit wet or anything like that, and you don't wash your hands after, like, please remember there are a lot of crystals that are actually toxic, even when they're tumbled, or coated or anything like that. They do start to wear out. Something as simple as even selenite is really, really good for cleansing and clearing. But if you get it wet, it will dissolve. Our bodies naturally are going to create moisture. So those are ones that I would either keep in my pocket, or I would put them in like a little organza bag, or a little tiny pouch of some type, and either put them in my pocket, in my purse. I always have something in my car at all times. I probably right now, honestly, if you pick up my purse, it feels like it's 20 pounds because I keep adding more crystals, forgetting that I already have like 10 of them in there. And every time someone picks up my purse, they're like, how is it so heavy? Honestly, it's full of crystals, crystals and oils. It's quite funny, actually. Another thing I would say is that's why I do wear, I'm not wearing them right now. Usually I have them on though, but while recording, I don't wear them because they make a lot of noise, but the crystal bracelets. So I have one that has more of a lava rock to it. And then I have one that actually has obsidian. These ones I purposely wear on my right side, on my right wrist. So your left hand is receiving, your right hand is forgiving. So if you're needing to receive a grounding, like grounding energy, put it on your left. Most of the time, I absorb a lot of energy personally. So I wear it on my right so that it transmutes through me and gets absorbed on its way out. And it kind of just pulls the energy out of me a lot of the time. So, another thing I would say when working with crystals, there's so many resources. So I won't name all of the crystals and all of that. I would say if you're starting out with crystals and you want a good one for protection, I would go with tourmaline over obsidian, because obsidian can be a very intense energy for a lot of people that aren't used to working with it. Um, it's not a soft, gentle stone like rose quartz or amethyst. It is a really, really, really intense crystal sometimes to work with for people. And I know that can seem crazy to a lot of people that either don't know kind of crystals or any of that, or don't really understand how it works. And sometimes, honestly, it's even a mystery to me. Science is catching up. And I use them for my crystal healing sessions with clients. It's amazing. I get to lay crystals over your body and balance your chakras and your aura and do all this amazing work with them. And I work with Reiki with it, and it's really amazing to see the difference between the sessions that are just Reiki and the combination of the Reiki and the crystals, because they just amplify so much. It is incredible. Like, I absolutely love it. It was like one of the best things that I have taken like a master training in, was doing the crystal healing. But yeah, they taught us a lot about crystals. So I would say start with your tourmaline. It's really good for you. Understand that when dealing with like clear quartz, it's an amplification crystal. So if I got one of those bracelets and it was just clear quartz, it's going to amplify any and all energies, negative or positive. So just try to keep that in mind if sometimes your emotions or things are happening and it's kind of getting amplified. Cleanse your crystals. A lot of the times I will keep like a selenite disc beside my bed or beside my jewelry box. So any of the crystals that would come out of my bra or my pockets at the end of the night, or the bracelets I'm wearing, or the jewelry I'm wearing, most of the time has a crystal on it. Taking that and putting it straight on the selenite disc. Selenite doesn't need to be cleansed. You can, if you want to, throw it in the moon to charge. I'm always good with it. But it's not always a full moon. Full moons, in my opinion, I feel like they don't always cleanse the energy. They charge the energy up. So I like to cleanse my crystals in either salt, water, or selenite. I find, or Reiki too. Oh, and there's Gambit barking again. So, oh, perfect. He keeps going. So I don't use water for most of my crystals because a lot of crystals, again, they deteriorate in water. They are really porous. Again, people put them in water. I have a water bottle where the bottom is removable and that has crystals in it. So the crystals infuse the water separately. But the crystals aren't inside the water. Some crystals are really, really bad for you. And again, toxic. So if you're putting toxic stuff into your water, yeah, like literally there's asbestos in some crystals, there's sulfur, all of this. So it's like, it's really important for you to know what you're doing. And please, when you're researching certain things, like putting crystals in water, I'm begging you, don't just look up one source of what one person says. You can look at the Mohs hard scale, which is hardness scale, which tells you how porous and soft some of the crystals are. But realistically, just put them beside the water. It's the same thing. It really, really is. Anyway, so moving on to the next thing. Salt baths and cleansing rituals. So the cleansing rituals is for your own energy. Any of that Florida water, smoke cleansing, with Palo Santo, as well as even rosemary is really good to burn, not just lavender. Ooh, if you do a combination of dried rosemary and lavender, it's really nice for protection and calming the space. But you can also put these things in a salt bath. So I have one here that is Epsom salts and baking soda and lavender. You can also add regular, like coarse salt in there as well. There's many recipes online for this. It's really good for cleansing your space, your physical space, basically, your aura and all of that. So we also have the thought of your shower. If you're showering every day, you have that either in the morning or at night. So close your eyes when you're in the shower. Feel the water washing over your body. Imagine these spots of negative energy that have attached to you throughout the day, and imagine them being soaked off and washing down the drain. Water is super cleansing. It doesn't just have to be the bath, because I understand we don't always have time for a big ritual bath with all of your salts and oils and candles and all of that. That's beautiful when you have time for it, or if you have a bath. But that's not always available to everybody. As I take a drink of water, that also can be cleansing. Like, even just imagining the water cleansing and clearing you on the inside is amazing. So, yeah, salt baths, cleansing rituals, all of that. Number 6 is positive affirmations. So, this can get a bad rap lately a little bit. We want to make sure that when we're doing our positive affirmations and stuff, we're not emotionally bypassing too much. But you can use affirmations like in the morning to shift your mindset and protect your energy. Repeating a positive affirmation can reinforce your self-worth and your ability to maintain that positive and protect your energy and your spaces from negativity. Again, negativity sometimes is needed. It's not, if you're having a hard day and you want to cry. Okay, there we go. The microphone fell over, so we have now fixed this. Okay, so where was I? The positive affirmations. Sometimes we get this thing where it's repeating the same positive affirmation over and over and over again to manifest. And like we've talked about before, manifestation is more than just saying it to yourself over and over again. It's the same with this. So understanding that we're still going to have bad days, and it is what it is. Sometimes we need to release the energy. Don't hold it in. Don't keep it tightened up in your chest. You will get sick. Clear this stuff out. Don't fully block it out sometimes. You know what I mean? So again, it's like that water cleansing from the inside. So a positive affirmation that would work, in my opinion, would be, my energy is a sacred space. I consciously choose to protect it. I release all that does not serve me, and I welcome positive vibrations into my life. Amazing. So next, number 7, disconnect from technology. Yes, I understand I am telling you this from a podcast. So don't fully disconnect because I love you and I would miss you. But limit your time. Limit your exposure to the negativity that can come out on social media, and the news platforms and everything can be super, super, super draining. Pay attention to where you're feeding into the negativity instead of releasing it sometimes. People can get really caught up in ranting about things that doesn't personally affect them in any shape or form. And we end up just creating so much pain and hatred and anger for no reason sometimes. And sometimes we really have to remember that, I know it's old and cheesy, but hurt people hurt people. So sometimes somebody's going through a rough time and they're lashing out. And it's not always about that business or that person or that thing. Sometimes they're just needing to express anger, and that's the easiest way for them to do it. As somebody, again, with past trauma, I would have massive, explosive anger come out of me. And it was because I was scared. And not always scared about like anything particular, but my nervous system was just shot. And I'm grateful that my husband knew that I wasn't honestly mad or angry or frustrated at him. I was just reacting out of trauma. Yeah. So understanding that with social media and the negativity. So try not to feed into it. Take your breaks from technology to avoid the energy draining conversations and the massive amounts of overload that can happen. Spend time in nature or engaging in activities that bring you joy. Even with nature, just something to help is, even if you can't get out for a big long hike out in the woods, just put your feet on the actual ground for a second. Take your shoes off because the rubber kind of blocks energies a lot of the time. And just take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground. Even if you can't do that, I love my plants. I try to spend at least 10 minutes a day tending to my plants. I do have quite a few, so it is an everyday thing. And I realize when my energy levels are low and I'm maxed out, it's something that always makes me feel better to do. But at the same time, I notice that all of a sudden some of my plants are wilting and they're just not being cared for. And I start neglecting them pretty much first. But because it's such a visual thing, like they're always around me, it's something that I can just quickly do. And it does make me feel a lot better, like getting my hands in the dirt or just watering them, smelling them. Some of them smell good, some of them don't. So if you can't get outside, sometimes you can bring outside into you. But I would suggest, if you can, get outside for just a second even. And yeah, do something that brings you joy. Be creative. Painting, drawing, writing, anything. So number 8 would be surrounding yourself with positive influences. This would also help your social media as well. So unfollowing some of those people that every time you see their thing pop up, you just get angry and aggressive, you can remove them or even unfollow them so they stop showing up on your feed. That's really, really helpful. But surround yourself with positive influences. So cultivate the relationships with people that are positive and supportive individuals. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you can contribute to a more positive and protected energy environment. We all have worked with certain people that, as soon as they walk in the room with their negative bubble, you don't even have to be anywhere near them, or you don't even have to see them. You can just like feel their energy shift as they walk in the room. And I know if it's work, we can't really avoid them. But in our personal life, that's where we come back to number one, is setting those boundaries with people. If you have somebody that every single time you talk to them, they leave the conversation, they're like, oh, I feel great. I feel amazing. I love talking to you. It's incredible. And you leave feeling like you just ran a marathon. You are exhausted. You are drained. You are just maxed right out. You didn't work on your boundaries. You didn't work on your energy shields. And sometimes they're not the most positive person to be around. Sometimes it's a phase for them. So understanding that, don't just, I wouldn't recommend just all of a sudden somebody has a bad day, you don't like talking to them that one day, you cutting them out of your life forever, because that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Understanding that people are going through their own hard times and stuff like that. And some people need a little more support sometimes. But try and cultivate the relationships that you can be authentically yourself, even if you're learning who that is right now. It's really important. And if you're feeling drained, or if you're feeling negative after being around certain people, start looking at why. And sometimes it can be an energetic thing. Sometimes it can be like our last episode was like shadow work. So sometimes just looking into that of, is it them? Is it me? Is it a shadow? Is it like, what's happening? So kind of reflecting on that, which literally brings me to number 9, journaling and self-reflection. So regular journaling and reflecting on your thoughts and emotions can help you identify sources of stress or negativity. By acknowledging and addressing these issues, you can properly protect your energy. Because sometimes you'll be like, oh, that's not really bothering me all that much. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And then you look back over the last like 6 months of your journal, and every issue that you've had has been that same thing every time. So it's like, oh, okay, maybe I do need to look at that. Maybe it's a bigger deal than I think it is. Journaling is something that is widely suggested over and over and over by many practitioners, to the point where sometimes it's annoying that it's on the list, but that's because it really does help. And it looks different for everybody. So you don't have to go off of just what one person says. Like everything else in your life, it goes with you. I have a thing with me personally. It's important for me to show up for myself. So I sometimes will journal, like I'd promise myself I'd journal every day. So I journal every day. And sometimes when I show up, it's to write, I don't want to journal today, but I said I would, so I'm here and goodbye. Other people, it's quality over quantity. For me, a shadow thing that I work on is showing up for the podcast, showing up for my family, showing up for my friends, showing up for myself, authentically, truly me, and working on those abandonment issues that I have from the past. So that's something I work on. So, there's Gambit again. Lily, what's Gamby doing? Awesome. Another interruption. Sorry. But apparently I got a delivery and needed to sign for it. And so I had to pause for a second because they kept knocking and the dogs kept barking. And as you can see, Lily has now transformed into Gambit and Quinn, and Lilybug's over there by herself, like she prefers. So now you've met all three dogs if you're on the video. If you're on the audio, now you're missing out. You're missing out on the sweetie pies. Anyway, so, like I was saying, with me personally, showing up is important. So working on those abandonment issues, journaling was an opportunity where I could prove to myself that I could show up and not abandon my needs. So that was just really important to me personally for my issues that I was working out through journaling. Other people, like I said, it's the quality over quantity. So other people will take a journal and they will maybe journal once every few days, once a week, once a month, but it will be a massive amount of work for them, like shadow work or inner child work, or just huge, massive realizations about their life and all of this, like outpouring in their journal. And it's pages long and it's just all of this. And it's so in depth. So it changes for everybody. I have multiple journals sometimes. Some I'm working on if I'm doing like a tarot card. I'm doing a tarot journal or an oracle card journal to kind of see what comes up with that. I'll do, different journal types. Some are workbooks. I have a moon journal that my mother just gave to me for my birthday. Yes, she gave it to me early, but that's just so I can start using it now, because on Thursday the 25th is the full moon. So it's great to have that. So with the journaling, I do usually suggest to either leave blank pages between days so you can actually go back in the future and write a journal back to yourself responding to what you wrote before, to kind of work through it a little bit, or to just kind of respond, and go back through your journals. It is a practice that not a lot of people do. And honestly, it's really healing for a lot of people. It's a great practice if you're willing to do it. And sometimes it's hard because we see where we've grown. We see where we made mistakes that sometimes we were blind to in the moment. So, another one that I wanted to mention for yourself is using different talismans and stuff. So a lot of people will have a little third eye thing, or you can use jewelry that is charged up as a protection symbol. That is just you put it on and energetically it's your shield. So that was just one I forgot about. And the 10th and last item on the list, mindful breathing, and meditation. Meditation is one of those trigger words for a lot of people. You either love it, hate it, or always feel bad about yourself because you never do it enough. I know of very few people that do it daily. I have tried, I have failed, I have restarted and tried and failed and restarted and tried and failed. And that's just okay. And I accept that. Meditation is something that can really help cleanse your energy, your space, your mind, your body, your soul, everything. So, yeah, practicing mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing and meditation to center yourself and release any negativity or draining energies is just so good for you. Like, so good for you. It can kind of help you stay grounded and focused. So, yeah, remembering to protect your energy is a personal and ongoing practice. If you experiment with all the different ways to do it and techniques, there's more than even just what I've gone over today, and I have gone over quite a bit. Find what resonates with you. Some people, it's meditating. Some people, it's ringing bells and shouting out loud. Some people, it's crystals. Some people, it's burning things. It's all what resonates with you. And try to find things that you can incorporate in your day-to-day routine for optimal results. Even when you're feeling okay, do these practices, because it gets harder to do when you have low energy and you're maxed out. And sometimes it sneaks up on us. So do these practices when you're feeling good, because it will kind of help build that practice. So if it's creating that energy bubble surrounding your aura and all that kind of stuff, constant practice on doing it makes it so that when you really need it and you're low on energy, you can like pop that bubble up right away instantly and you're like, okay, I'm good. Without practice, it can take a little bit longer sometimes, slowly growing it. Like, I can shield my aura because I've been practicing my whole life. I can shield my aura within 2 seconds. Some people, it takes a lot longer than that. But again, practice. It all is just a muscle you can strengthen. So, with that, I am very excited to dive into our guided meditation. Again, I will have it on the website, on my website, wildnova.ca. And if you look at the top tabs, there is a tab that says podcasts, and I will have something up on my site that you can click, and it will email you a little short thing of this meditation, so you can kind of jump to it whenever you want. So during this meditation, I will be channeling Reiki for you to help clear out any negativity and help balance and clear your energy. So I welcome you to this guided meditation infused with Reiki for healing, balancing, and energy clearing. Find a quiet and comfortable space where you can sit or lay down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Allow your body to settle into a state of relaxation. As you close your eyes, Visualize a soft, radiant light enveloping you, creating a protective and tranquil space. This light is warm, comforting, and filled with healing energy. Let it wash over you, bringing peace to your mind, body, and spirit. Now imagine yourself in a serene, magical garden. Picture vibrant flowers, lush greenery, and a gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. In the center of this garden is a crystal clear pond, reflecting the beauty of your surroundings. This water is calm and inviting you to explore its depths. Begin walking towards the pond, feeling the soft earth beneath your feet. As you approach the water, notice a collection of radiant crystals at the bottom of the pond. These crystals carry unique healing properties. Each one resonates with a different aspect of well-being. Extend your hand, and as you do, feel a magnetic pull towards a specific crystal. Allow it to gracefully float to the surface and into your hand. Hold this crystal in your palm, feeling its energy connect with yours. Sense the warmth and comfort it brings as it becomes a conduit for healing energy. As you hold the crystal close to your heart, let its energy permeate every cell of your being. Take a deep breath, inhaling the healing essence of the crystal. With each exhale, release any tension or negativity you may be carrying. Feeling a sense of renewal and vitality with each breath. Visualize the crystal's light as a radiant beam entering through the crown of your head as it flows through your body. Imagine it illuminating any areas where energy may be stagnant or blocked. Picture the crystal's light as a gentle stream, clearing away any darkness or heaviness it encounters. With each passing moment, feel the light purifying your energy, leaving behind a trail of vibrant and revitalized pathways within. Moving through your mind and dispelling any negative thoughts or worries. Let it flow through your heart, releasing any emotional burdens that may have accumulated. Allow the energy to move down through your limbs, revitalizing every cell and leaving you feeling light, free, and balanced. As you continue to breathe deeply, imagine the crystal's light expanding beyond your body, creating a protective and healing aura around you. Feel a profound sense of peace, love, and balance radiating from the crystal and surrounding you in a cocoon of positive energy. Express gratitude for this profound energy clearing experience and the support you've received from the crystal. Acknowledge the renewed sense of well-being within you. Take a moment to bask in the glow of this healing light, appreciating the connection between your energy and that of the crystal. Recognize that the crystal is a timeless source of positive energy, always available to support and guide you on your journey. Now, with a sense of gratitude and acknowledgement, gently place the crystal back into the crystal clear pond. Watch as it descends, returning to its place among the other radiant gems at the bottom. As the crystal submerges, imagine the water enveloping it, cleansing and renewing its energy for the next time you may seek its healing properties. Know that this serene garden and crystal pond exist within you. And you can return to this sacred space at any time. It's a sanctuary of peace, balance, and healing whenever you feel the need for clarity, positivity, or renewal. Envision yourself back in this magical garden. With this comforting thought, gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. Feel the ground beneath you, the air around you, and the renewed sense of well-being within you. When you are ready, slowly open your eyes, carrying with you the knowledge that the healing energy of the crystals is always accessible whenever you need it. Embrace this newfound balance and positivity as you continue your journey. I am so grateful that you've joined me on this journey today, and I can't wait for what's to come. If you found any resonance in today's discussion, don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave a review. Your engagement really means a lot to me. Connect with me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at the Wild Nova Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at info@wildnova.ca. And as always, visit my website for any additional resources at wildnova.ca. I'm your host, Janine O'Brien. Remember, the connection between your body, mind, and spirit is a journey worth embracing. So until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.